Lyra Lynn, My Least Favorite Life, from, that was True Detective season 2. It was good. That's a good show, True Detective. All of them. All of them. I don't give a shit. 3 was great. 1 was amazing. And 2 was solid and had that song in it. That wallpaper I've had in my folder since 2018. And I knew this day would come, which is why I didn't use it. I just kept skipping over it. It's okay, but... because I'm going to get the Stax 009s eventually. I'll put them on the... this stand, by the way. Zeos, link the Angry Goose stand. Angry Goose? Grumpy Goose. Grumpy Goose stand on Etsy. Did a whole unboxing on that. These. Ignore those for a second. Admire this, and then look at that. So, okay, we got it all going on. Zeos Basement 2020 flagship Stax. Except they're not. They've been replaced by the 009S, which I don't have. And those have like a gold driver. And I'm like, ah, shit. So I've given a lot of crap to these. In fact, I even gave crap to them during the review of this upstairs. Because this is the Corsonis Kodachi Plus. And the person who sent me this, the owner of the company of this, sent me this. And he's like, oh, I'm also going to send my own personal pair of 009s so you could try them out on this. Okay. I'm not going to say no to that. Thank you, by the way. So for the purposes of this test, since I am testing the ear speaker now and not just the amp or the Energizer, I've set up this. And finally, I know where that flux, the FS10 is going to be. This is the one that's like 16 watts a channel headphone amp. That's like, what the fuck am I going to do with that? IESL Energizer converter. Off that, being fed off my old Emotiva XDA2 because I haven't used it since I moved here. So this stack, which kind of looks like the pyramid from Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner. This is the end all of Stax things. This DAC, by the way, is also feeding the Kodachi Plus through World's Best XLRs. Zeos, you always pimp those World's Best RCAs. It's time to pimp the XLRs because they're just as fucking nice. And just as cheap. 50 bucks for 4 4-footers. It's not bad. So as I sit here with possibly the greatest sounding solid state Stax setup that I've ever heard. And I know because I've listened to them all. And then probably one of the nicest tubey ones. In fact, I did pull out the Audio Valve Solaris specifically for this review. But that amp DAC combo is specifically powering the RF7s upstairs in the great room. Like it's the 8, I'm using it as a speaker amp, and it's like that's where that stays because we got this, so that's a good enough reference. So the 009s, currently $3,699 on StaxAudio.com. I thought APOS had Stax. Now they don't seem to have Stax. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they got angry because it was like 2 distributors. You can have 2 distributors of an entire I don't know. Point is, here are the ones that I'm reviewing, and here are the new ones with gold. Which has evolved to Emlier 2, and this is, I guess, just Emlier 1. So, $3,700. Zeos, don't forget the gemstone. And I've been giving them shit for a long time, because I've only ever heard these flagship Stax Electrostat ear speakers at audio shows. And the problem with audio shows is A, they're noisy. It's really hard to judge something. B, you usually don't get to play your music on it. They usually have a tablet set up, or there's a computer, or they're on Spotify, or Tidal, whatever it's running, and then you're usually, no one's there to sell you these when you're at like a Can Jam or something. They're there to sell you this, or this, or this, or some other weird component. Some DAC. Some DAC is what they're trying to sell. So you don't really get a good taste of, like, okay, this is why I wanted to hear it. I don't sit down at booths, because I want to hear your power cable that you're selling me. I'm there because you've got Stax 009s, and yeah, your power cable's plugged in. I don't care. I want to hear the ear speaker. Can you call it a headphone? Because everyone's like, it's an ear speaker. In fact, our ear speakers on Reddit was started because I kept calling them ear speakers. And I hope that place is still doing well. How are you guys doing? So this is the first time I actually got to sit down for more than 6 minutes and listen to what is... I'm a bit of a Stax fanboy. Like, I don't have a tattoo yet, but if I got one, it wouldn't be on the crack of my ass. It'd be like somewhere else, more visible. My babies, the ones I own, I have the old 207s, which I converted into the Ultras by putting huge pads with vents on them. And then I have the L700s here, which in my mind is more what a Stax is supposed to be. Not just in sound, but in build also, because it's this giant square box with an ovoid driver in it, and that's so much surface area, and then they look terrible. Like, this looks terrible. Like this, and this is the newer version. This is like the newer version, but not the newest version, where it has like metal. So it's just like, you look like a weirdo when you're wearing them. That's what you're gonna be, the weirdo. These, on the other hand, don't make you look like, well, depending on the circles you run around in, these look like headphones. And my argument was that Stax 009s, every time I've heard them, sound like headphones. Those sound like Stax. These do something that is different from any planar or dynamic I've ever listened to. L700. So we're going to get to those by the end of the review, just to give myself a little reminder. I wanted to sort of be like a shock value thing, because these deserve all the praise right now. Because I've been sitting here with the world's greatest Energizer stack, and a Very tube. I even put the their original, the PS Vane tubes back in that, and getting very different takes on how to push electrostatics. Whereas this is a linear fuck with all the power in the world. In fact, I'm not even running this flux on high. I'm balanced outing on medium. I'm at like nearly 3 o'clock, but that's everything you'd ever need to run one of these. And if I put back on Lyra Lynn and I go on pause, then I do that, and then I back it up 10 seconds, and I flip this over. It's like the music from that to this has been flipped upside down and moved backwards. I'm like, whoa! And I checked, it's not left and right being backwards. It was, and then I fixed it. But now, with these tubes back in it, and not the ones I preferred, like, it's the music is like out of phase, then reverse, then move backwards. It's like, whoa! So, not a terrible sound. It's just the capabilities of the 009s, double aught 9s, which makes 007 look like a pussy bitch. To take the difference in the way these two things are working and display it for you. If I had to describe... Oh no. I don't even have to tell you what that is. If you know what it is, you know what it is. To where that moves when I shove it in. That needs the connector that this has. Okay. What I'm probably gonna say about these. Let's plan for the review, alright? This is pre-game. Alright, we're gonna review these ear speakers. Great. They're the top of the line. I gotta be ready for it. I gotta have all my thoughts have to be straight and narrow, and I have to be concise with how I'm describing them. They sound like headphones. But Zeos, they're electrostats. You just go on and on about how they're not headphones, and they're not. And those are not headphones. But these... These sound like headphones. But they sound like the best headphones. They sound like I don't think I've heard a planar as good as that sounds, which makes sense because it's electrostatic. But if I look at it from the perspective of old Zeos, didn't give it a time of day, because every time he put on the 700s versus the 007s or the 009s, this sounded weird and wide, and oh my god, where are these sounds coming from? And the imaging, oh my god, so light and so airy. And you put this on, which is their top of the line, or was, and it just sounded like it was trying to compete with like hi-fi-men and planars and, you know, ZMFs. It was in that same bubble of round, smaller diagram driver than that. But then you get to listen to it, and I get to listen to it, and then you through the sound demo, looking at the description, will get to listen to it, and it starts being real clear that this is not just, you know, this is not just, it's not just a headphone, all right? This is the dumb. This is the, we're up to the dumb. You're spending $3,000 plus, and I gotta still complain about some things. Don't worry, boys and girls. We're getting to it. But the sound delivery, it's like when people tell you where the babies come from and everyone's like, oh, it's a stalk, it brings it in. What if that was true? Only it wasn't a stalk, it was the Blue Angels F-16 fighters. Wait, are they F-16s anymore? I don't know, I don't keep up with the Blue Angels. Like, that's kind of like the delivery method of sound through this. Just shake your head and you're like, oh, fuck. Because the way that Stax are different than a planar dynamic is the lightness of the diaphragm, which you can't see in here. I think it's behind 2 layers. But it's just so easy. These are warmer sounding, I want to point out, than the L700s. We're gonna switch to the L700s before this video ends. But I understand why the owner of Corsonis, Neil Diamond's Happy Christmas, there's just children singing into my brain. Because this sounds so much different than that. And I didn't bring out a solid state setup to test against this. So consider this review of this part 2. I should swap tubes again. Yeah, no, that sounds like a tube doing things to this headphone or ear speaker, which is all you ask for with the tube thing. Anything with the tubes at the top, all you want from that, and this is my advice for anyone who's like, oh, should I get something that's like this? If this doesn't sound different, and I mean wholeheartedly different from like any solid state solution, your tube is bad. Your tube setup is incorrect. The whole point of spending money, spending $3,600 on this versus, how much would this cost? This is like $7, and that's like $11, plus $18, plus a DAC is a $2,000. So spending money, like this sort of levels of fucking gemstone in the goddamn title money, this should definitely be taken completely out of context from that. You're not going to go, oh, I compare the highs and the treble on this and how the separation is to this. This is doing its job to not sound anything like it. And we're sharing the DAC, so at least we know that's not out of line. But then back to this with infinite power, and I don't think I've ever had this much power to push Stax before. No, that's a lie. I did have the crown on this thing, I think. Did I put the crown onto this or to the Woo-wee? I had the Woo Audio one, and I don't remember if I put that the crown on that. It doesn't matter. Out of Chris. Whoa. Speaking about power. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't even give a shit about the Beatles, and this fucking song is, this is Love. This is Get Back by the Beatles from Love. We are just getting hammered. Like the impact of, like, it's like the snare drum is in my head. So are these the best Stax? Put that down. Put this down. Of course, it's going to get pulled off the table. It never doesn't fail when I try to do this. I'm not going to touch the volume, although I think this has different efficiency. The only modifications to these L700s is the very, very small expander that pushes the pads away to give you a little bit more ear space. I'm going to talk about how similarly crappy the headbands are, by the way. They're similarly crappy. And then, oh, God. These have more bass impact. I think if you had to explain why someone would go for this series over this series, I think the L700 do more to the shape of the sound, the height of the driver, the fact that it can literally make fucking 3.5 inches of sound next to your ear. You get this sort of thing going on, and it sounds fantastic. But they are in essence, a little bit bass light. You accept that because you're getting Stax. Like you're going, unless you're doing the 207 Ultra mod where you have like giant pads and then vent holes that break the seal, you are accepting the fact that you are getting you're getting bass, not sub bass. You're getting just enough bass, and then it's coming up and it's doing all these fucking wild things to the rest of the sound. And that is true. Oh, my heater finally turned off. But going back and forth between the L700, which is my fucking baby, and the 009s, which I've now gotten to use for days and days and days and days and days, it's a hard call for me. And that sucks, because I was like, these fucking suck. These fucking suck. You want these. And when you actually get to play with your entire playlist, it's like, oh, fuck. I do like that low end. The only competition I would say for this, at least the previous 009s, would not be the L700s. It would be the much more rare, and I'm an idiot for not buying it, L300 Limiteds, because the L300s are the lowest tier of this shape, but they had a limited edition, which put this fucking driver in the limited edition 300 with the shittier headband, and it was tuned differently. I think it might have been something, I don't know what they actually did to it. All I know is that had more soundstage and a little bit more low end than these L700s. So these L700s are probably, these are like the Sennheiser 560s of Stax. They're not like plain Jane neutral boring, but oh my God. Do you go, oh my God? When it works flawlessly. And we take those off now and we go back to the actual ear speakers that are being reviewed in this video. I hate when it moves. I hate when it moves. These have the soundstage that those don't. These have the low end knock, I would call it. I would even call it, they just fill in the low end just right. And that they still have I will either give them the exact same amount of detail or a little more. No, I can't say more. I can't. I want to say more, but I won't because my body will not allow it. These have cork bottoms now, by the way, if you want one of these. The new ones are going to have a cork and the little leather strap, which is kind of badass. This is badass. Put that there. This makes me want to hear the big ones. This makes me want to hear the new 009S with gold and all the other shit. I have to look for another wallpaper that matches it at that point. Because these do things to sound that now that I'm hearing my own music, now that I'm hearing my own stack of my own creation of stack to push them properly, these are the top of the line stacks. And I think with this video, I'm usually afraid when I make videos, because somebody watched my Harmonic Dyne Zeus video, bought the Harmonic Dyne Zeus during the patronage chat for $10 a month when subscribed to our Patreon. And they're like, dude, these are the best headphones I've ever heard. Why did you undersell them? Did you even describe like how amazing these are? And I'm like, look, people watch all these videos. I don't know who watches every single one of them. If you're out there, hi, you're a psychopath, but I love you. And I can't, every single time I absolutely gush over a product, give the full fuck. Full fuck Zeus doesn't come out all the time. He can't. I can't. I have to tone me down. And believe it or not, I am toned down. But I feel like with these, I don't have to tone down. This is the top of the line Stax. And the only thing that possibly could be better than this is the new top of the line Stax. So yeah, I'm gonna go off the fucking limb and say these are the fucking greatest goddamn things ever I've ever fucking heard. Ever. Fuck you. Ever. Like just the weightlessness of the sound. I don't know how that works. All right. Because I know it's like, oh yeah, no, the drivers are super light, but it's just sound is happening. It's like there's nothing there. You know how a Dyson fan, they claim to have no blades, but they totally have fucking blades in the base and they're much harder to clean than if they were just a normal bladed fan. But they have that ring that the air comes out. You know when you're looking at that fan and like, wow, this is magic. It's not magic. There's fans and the blades in the bottom. But let's assume that it was actually fucking magic. That's what these, I want to say headphones, that's what these ear speakers are doing. It doesn't feel like any sort of sound is being generated. There's just this hole. These are just a hole. and magically sound is in them. So it's like, oh, fuck. A fuck. Because now, and only now, and this took years to get, it just happened to be the owner of the company of this. It's like, hey, I'm going to send my personal pair if you listen to it. And he's fucked me up a little bit, just a little bit, fucked me up. Because now I kind of want the big ones. I don't need them. God knows I don't need them. But I'm curious because I know eventually 2020 will be over. 2021 will probably be over. 2022 rolls around. There's new can jams. There's new shows. And I'll get to hear the 009S. But it won't be with my music on the stack I know with the wallpapers I like. It'll just be some guy doing shit that's selling you a wire and he's got it on his table. And I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know. Because these things are fucking... Oh, can I talk about the build for a second? Because I'm ignoring that and talking about like sound and shit. So those are all plastic. The new ones have the metal thing. This is just this. Look at this machined aluminum is just gorgeous. This, just the shape is just plain as day. Perfect. These do have attached cables like all old Stax do. Then you have the metal up here, which is also like not cheap shit like Hyphaman uses. No offense, Hyphaman, but you use some cheap shit. This just looks like it's one piece to here, and then that's a sandwiched piece that then gets sandwiched again, and there's little screws in the bottom that squeeze that together. This whole thing is gorgeous. And then the pads are apparently handmade because the Japanese are crazy, and I love them that way. I won't take it off, but it's just the right amount of actual real leather with no memory foam. It's just soft. It's a used pair, so at least I get the broken in feel. Like I'm sure if you use this 10 hours a week, 12 hours a week, after 2-3 months, these are perfect. The headbands where we got back to these Stax is like, oh, what the fuck you doing, Stax? So that noise is all you need to know about the actual plastic. And then you got the top piece here, which is exactly the same as the top piece there. And then you got this thing, which I kind of like. It says SR009. It's a little bit padded. It's just like a squeezy leatherette velour bottom or bottom of leather. I don't know what the hell it is. And then the adjustment is a stupid little clicker up and down. So, I mean, and it's beautiful metal from here down. These are amazing. Here up, it's like, I guess it's just what they had lying around in the studio or whatever, in the warehouse. Just put that shit on there. It's fine. So, and now that Edifier owns them, by the way, Edifier, the speaker Edifier, owns them, which Edifier is Chinese and Stax is definitely Japanese. Edifier has injected sort of like build quality. Like you would think it's the other way around. You would be like, why? Wait a second. Are you saying that Edifier makes better built products than Stax? Yes. 100% yes. Better sounding products? Not really. But I think Edifier is bringing at least good things to the Stax line. Even if they change no sound, just better headband. Look, and that's how she is a perfect example of how much space is above your head when you're wearing one of these. All Stax make you look like you got this like bridge over your head. Like it's illegal to have that anywhere. Like it doesn't have to be more than that far away from a human head. I don't know why I could stick my whole hand through this, like up to here. If I'm wearing those, I could just stick my hand through it. It's dumb. The build is dumb. The wire is one of these 6-wire crazy 5-prong 600 volt? No, 580 volt. It's only 580 volts, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to shower with these. These are permanently attached. Let me see if they're removable on the new one. Nope, doesn't look like it. Fuck. I want that gold. I want that gold. I want that gold. 5 to 42,000 hertz. I think that's the same thing as this. This claims the same. 5 to 42,000 hertz. Let's compare those stats. Literally fucking nothing is changing. That's like, shouldn't something change? Wouldn't like the sound pressure sensitivity, the impedance, the frequency response, the electrostatic capacitance, nothing is changing between the two? And you're not giving me a better headband, doesn't look like either. I still want to hear them. There's a reason they put an S at the end of it. There's a reason they're like $600 more. Those are $4,300, and these are $3,700. There's a reason for that $500. I don't know what it is yet, but it's out there. So I'm gonna just leave you all on like a poem. I'm gonna write a poem on the spot right now because I don't plan ahead of any of these things. Maybe it'll be a haiku. I was watching James May. I don't know how to do haikus. Isn't it like 5 syllables, then 7, and then 5 again? To Stax is God. The music fills my brain. We are all my brain. Was that a haiku? I don't know. I didn't actually count. This is very on the spot, but you can quote that in comments. Please, someone pin that on staxaudio.com. Yeah, I love these. And fuck you if you think anything's better than them. Like I would have to sit down with the voce. The voce, which is Mr. Speaker's electrostatic. To really like, because that's the only thing that will give us a run for its money, because it's round again. It's literally the sound changes because of the shape of it. If I gave you a headphone that speaker was like front to back, like 7 inches, you don't compete that against normal headphones because that's completely fucking out of its weird league. These are in a weird league all by themselves, and I still love them. But this is like, oh, this is just this is how you compete. This is more competition. This would be an easy win if Stax only did this. This actually sounds like a headphone with the proper 5 to 42,000 hertz. It's just a matter of, can they beat like Virte? Can they beat Virte? Can they beat the Aria? Can they beat all those high-end planars? I don't think they take the HE1s, the Sennheiser HE1s, but you know, those are also electrostatic, and I need a pair to review. So I'm gonna now swap channels or things. I want to say these sound creamier than those, but that's stupid, so I won't. I want to say they almost sound more musical than those, but that's also stupid, so I won't. God damn it. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this to myself? I did this to myself. This is all me. This is me doing this to me, and I hate it. I hate it. Self-loathing. So if you would like these, I will link. I will see if Apos is still selling them. I was hoping they would be, but they're not. Those. I'll link to the Corsonis. I love that plug. It's just fucking so easy. I'll link to the Grumpy Goose headphone stand, which is handmade and insane. Oh, the wallpaper. Vintage since 2018. It's been stored. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be going through my wallpapers now, and it's not going to be there. I'm going to be like, oh, fuck. Will be in the description along with the sound demo for these. Now, I haven't done the sound demo yet. I'm doing this review first, and I'm going to do the sound demo with a couple other ones. And I don't know how it's going to come out. It could come out like shit. Come out terrible. But we're all going to find out together. So if you want to check that out early, you can check it out in the links of the description today. Tomorrow, it'll be its own video release. You can check it out then. Thank you for the Kadachi, the Corsonis guy, for sending it to me. Shit. I was so prepared when I got this to be like, oh, it sucks. It just sucks. No, this better. Not when you do it right. Not when you do it right. Anyway, I'm done. I already mentioned Subscribe Star on Patreon. $10 tier lets you into a private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat where everyone there is going to know my absolute disappointment in myself for not believing in the high-end Stax, and now I have to get the Stax tattoo. And then if you want to just see these reviews early, participate in yard sales from the 1st to the 10th, or ask me questions on platform, $5 does that for Patreon and Subscribe Star. Don't forget to check out Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum. I don't know if we have an electrostatic section. We should. If we don't, we should. Because these could just be headphones, or they could be, because it's like this. This could be used for, as soon as you get past this point, that's specific. That's specifically for this sort of shit. And I'm going to stop the camera now, and then I'm going to continue to listen to Mac Quayle's Is It Really You from the Mr. Robot. Because it's... Oh, I turn this all the way down. That's fine. I'll go back to the solid state. God, everything is so fucking vivid. That's the word. Vivid.